This is a brief overview of the interpretive essay outline, Milestone 2. As the instructions say, you're going to complete a worksheet that is basically a framework for your interpretive essay that you will complete in week 7. The outline does not need to be a perfectly constructed essay, but it should address all of the elements, organize them, and give you the basics for completing the essay. The first thing we want to do is look at the worksheet. The worksheet guides you through this process. You should complete this worksheet and you can submit it. Some students prefer to complete the worksheet and then take the information and create a seamless outline. Either is okay, but as the instructions say, you should complete this worksheet. And you start by writing the introduction, which includes your thesis statement. The thesis statement should be an assertion or an argument in favor of a specific perspective or point of view on the selected material. Remember, you choose either one short story or 2 poems. Once you have your thesis statement, you're going to take the key elements that are mentioned in that thesis statement, such as the text reveals experience through the use of symbols, tones, and setting. You should have 3 key elements that support your point of view in the chosen material. Each of those elements will be the focal point of one of the paragraphs. You shall write 3 paragraphs explaining the topic selection and how the element supports your argument, and you'll use evidence, specific text from the reading, from your selection, to support your point of view. Finally, you'll include a conclusion, and in the conclusion, you'll kind of restate your thesis. You don't have to write it identically to how you had stated it first, and then apply the argument to a larger context. In a conclusion, you really should be able to give us a little bit more perspective, bring all of the elements that you've discussed together in a very well-formed kind of final package. Before we go, I want to just look at the rubric and analyze exactly what you'll be assessed by. In the rubric, it breaks down each section, the introduction, in the text, the message, the rationale, and your thesis statement. In the body, supporting argument, that means one of the 3 elements that you mention in your thesis statement. Textual evidence, that's evidence taken directly from the selection, and then a transition. You'll include 3 body paragraphs and a conclusion. If you look closely at the rubric, you will see very specifically each item that will be assessed. Do you introduce the text and an author and provide some context for the analysis? Do you summarize the overall intent and give us some perspective on the text? Do you explain why it was chosen? And then the thesis statement. That thesis statement should have 3 supporting claims that will build the body, as it states here. Each body paragraph should have 3 elements: the topic sentence, textual evidence, and then a transition. Finally, the conclusion is very specific: restatement of the thesis, the context or a larger perspective, the significance of the piece, discuss the identity and relationship to the argument in the text, and then finally the articulation. So I hope that this is helpful. It's quite prescriptive and specific, so please follow it carefully, and if you have any questions or you need assistance, contact your instructor.